Hello everyone, welcome to 3dDesignAcademy.com. In this lesson, we'll continue with part 14 of the body side of Lexus LF-30 concept car. So in the previous lesson, I tried to work on this area over here, but well, the result's not that good. So right now, I have the surface over here. It's not curvature, but at least I'm getting tangency. Well, probably not on this side, looks like. And the problem is right now, if with the CV structure at its current setting, it's not only is it not giving me a tangency, it's going to be really hard to clean up. And let me show you why. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to rebuild this because there's a little bit of twist, not a twist, but a little bit of zigzag. So if I were to, actually, let me just reset the tool over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to rebuild with a square. And I'm just going to set, let's see, 1 to curvature, and 3 is going to be curvature. And you see the CV structure looks like that. Now, the bigger problem is, in order to clean this up, it's going to take a lot of work. And I'll have to manually pull them, which is not ideal. And to be honest, a boundary blend, as you can see over here, doesn't really help either. Which is, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Unfortunately, bi-rail doesn't really do much either. So if I were to do a bi-rail, I mean, it should be a little bit better. I mean, it looks good now, but when once I put curvature in here, you'll see that it spreads like this. This is probably the best out of all, but it's still not ideal. And same thing over here. If I were to pick those as a gen, let's see, I'm going to say Gen 1 is going to curvature, Gen 2 is going to be curvature, and it looks like this, which isn't exactly ideal. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can use the general blend value, see if it gives me anything a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the rails to curvature and see if this... Nope. Okay. So unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to use the what is it called? Symmetry fillet tool. So I'm just going to use that, but I'm going to use it in a little bit different setting. So first of all, I'm just going to untrim this one over here and untrim this one over here. I like this US over here. I know this was custom. I tried to custom make it, but it didn't really. I don't think it really worked. So let's do this. I'm just going to set this curvature. It's going to be both sides. Form factor will be 1. And I'm just going to set everything to default and free like this. I'm just going to pick this COS over here and I'm going to do this one. Now the problem with this one is, of course, it looks like that. And of course, this doesn't really look good either. Unfortunately, I don't think Bezier is going to, well, really, not really. It's way too many pieces. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm just going to extend this back because right now you'll see that it's actually going a little bit, weird way. So I'm just going to extend that back a little bit, and I'll probably extend this one back a little bit. And let's see if I can just reduce, because right now, let me see if I can just reduce the number of CVs and number of spans. Because right now, I think at least the shape is really good. It's just the only problem is it's just just got way too many CVs and way too many spans. So let's see if I can reduce it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say align, and let's see. Obviously, position influence that twists it. So I'm just going to try and reduce the number of spans just this way. And actually, you know what? Let's do the same thing over here. Like this, so that I can actually do them at the same time. So without position influence, I'm going to try to reduce it as much as possible without causing too many problems. Okay, so right now I have 21 spans and start to fail position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can do just to project. There we go, that looks good. So right now I have 21. It looks like the other side is also failing. So let's see if I can do this one as well. So I'm just going to say project. Is it actually failing position? Normal, let me do... Oh, Y is no good. Actually, I was probably think normal might be best. Okay. Let's see. Is it actually failing? I'm going to see. I'm just going to untrim over here. And let's just check the continue over here. Okay, so it looks like it is failing. I was hoping to reduce it a little bit more. So let's see if I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce it a little bit more. 18. It is failing. That's unfortunate. Okay, so I would say 10. Well, maybe what I could try and do is just reduce the amount of patches over here. Or maybe... Okay, so at least this part isn't failing. So let's see, 10, 11, and I'm going to see if I can just align this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say edge over here. Oops. And let's take a look. I'm gonna grab this one over here. Let's say align. Well, first of all, let's just delete the construction history over here. I'm just going to align to edge. Well, let's see. Okay, so that one doesn't work. Position influence. Oh, what do you know? Okay, so I was able to get a little bit something. Now, position, I did increase the position influence, but yeah, that's actually it. There wasn't a lot of movement, so I don't think I really need to rebuild it. I mean, the whole point of this is not to rebuild it because that just ruins the CV structure. So it looks like that worked out quite well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually, the COS I'm going to leave for now. Actually, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to just do a revert, and I'm going to see if I can just revert to, align to 1, and let's just check the continuity over here. Same thing. Slight movement in the CV, but nothing major, which is actually perfect. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm just going to delete number 2 because I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to make everything visible over here, and everything's looking pretty good. Okay, so now comes the alignment over here. So first of all, this outside one I am actually going to delete, and let's continue with the top first because the bottom should be pretty easy. I think I should probably tackle the more difficult side first before doing anything. So first of all, I believe this is just freeform blend. So let me just change this to default like this, and I'm going to see if the blend over here works well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the construction history over here, and actually, you know what? I'll just put it there. And I'm going to just see if I can do a nice blend between this one. Actually, let's hide that too because I think I'm pretty much done with all the canvases. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a blend curve, and I'm just going to align this one against this edge over here. That's not great, but it's not horrible either. I might just, you know what, just in case, I'm just going to delete the construction history, just copy and paste, delete the construction history so that I have an original. I'm just going to extend this one just a little bit like this so that the CV structure is a little bit more balanced. Since I'm doing that, I might also just get rid of one span. So now it should be a 10 span surface like that, and that's not too bad. Okay, so let's continue on with this one over here. So since this piece is actually aligned like this, I think I'm just going to get rid of this over here. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Freeform blend over here. So let me just hide all the curves because they're really in the way. I'm just going to hide it in this layer for now, and I'm just going to do a freeform blend here and here. And it's going to not be edge align over here, but connect ends. Same thing over here. And of course, those should be G2. Okay, so that's that over here. Now, this is aligned to a fillet, which is actually kind of shrinking. So it might be a little bit ugly over here. let's take a look. I mean, highlight's good, but the problem is it's aligned to this one, which might not be ideal for a transition here. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so this piece over here requires 2 transition over here. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to project this from Y like this. And let's go ahead and do a freeform blend from here to here. And I'm going to do one over here as well. That one I'm going to say connect ends, and this one I'm going to say default. And looks like that's giving me something like that, which is not good. But that's okay. I'm just going to copy and paste this so that I can just... The problem is the COS, it's reading all the way to here, and that's causing the problem. So it doesn't, the Alias software doesn't really know where to end and where to start. So what I can do is I can just extend this back and basically use this as a helper surface in order to get the freeform blend to work a little bit better. So I'm going to grab this one, and let's grab this edge over here and grab this one over here. Let's do connect the ends on both sides. But this one I'm going to reuse a little bit. So let's do a modify range. I'm going to grab the arrow over here. I'm just going to, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be somewhat close. Now, the problem is because of this is a surface fillet, and this, well, it's a symmetry fillet, but it uses similar, I guess, calculations to a surface fillet, I'm sure. But this one, freeform blend, is shaped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the form factor, and hopefully, I'm really hoping that this works. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Okay. Now this side, however, this, well, first of all, it doesn't fit. So let me just get it a little bit closer like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it Bezier. Oh, that's, let's see. Bezier, for some reason, it's giving me lots of pieces, but that's okay, I think. Well, I think just keeping this one should be okay, and this one I'll just rebuild since I have to match it over here anyways. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to, right now, now I'm going to do a square. So it's going to 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one should be pretty easy, I hope. So that's curvature over there. Let's just go over here, and what I'm just going to delete the COS over here, and I'm just going to reproject it like this. And it's okay. I don't expect to get curvature on this side. You'll see that it's 1.0 all over the place. These are probably actual curvature failures. Well, to be honest, at this point, I'm kind of out of option. I'm not going to bother trying to fix that. Now this is our, it looks like that one needs an extension. So I'm just going to change this to linear over here with merge off, and I'm just going to do something like that. Now it looks like the projection trajectory is a little bit off, but well, that's okay. I'll fix that later if I ever get to it. Okay, so now I do have a square over here. I'm going to, let's see. First of all, let's do that. Explicit control on. It's going to 5 and 5. And I'm just going to make sure that 2 and 4 is also curvature. And looks like I'm getting something like this, which isn't exactly ideal. But let's try this. Continuity, collinear options. As you can see, it's got a little weird shape over here. So I'm going to say 2 and 4. Looks like that helps a little bit. Not much over here, but that's okay. Okay. So at least I got curvature on some of the sides, which is giving me hope. That's it, however, this one might need a little bit of adjustment, maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's check the continue over here. So I'm just going to check continue. Oh, wow, that's actually failing by quite a lot. The problem with this one is, as you can see over here, let's see. The problem is that this surface over here, it's at a very sharp angle compared to this one. So ideally, it would actually need to flow this way, but because I'm trying to do it this way, I think that's causing a bit of a problem. So there are a couple of things I can do. I can try to at least make it tangency, but let's isolate these surfaces because it's really hard to look with the surface over here in the way. So I'm just going to isolate these over here like this. And let's see if I can actually align it. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to grab a line. I'm going to see if I can just align it over here. Yeah, that's not too bad, but of course, it needs a little bit of adjustment. So looks like it's actually failing. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. So it's failing tangency over here, but it's actually pretty close. So it's a curvature there. Now this one over here, I'm going to probably just make a little bit of adjustment. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. Because the problem is they are different surfaces. Okay, so maybe I'll try this. So obviously this has a little bit of fluctuation. I don't know how it looks. Actually the highlights pretty good. And while I'm at it, let me. Oh, I can't hide that. Okay, all right. Let me just turn those off. So I think the highlight might be a little bit off. You know what? Let's do this. I'm just going to chop these off. I'm just going to grab a curve over here. I'm just going to project it like this. I'm just going to trim it so that it's a little bit easier to look. Okay, as you can see over here, there's a little bit of funny thing going on over here, but it's actually pretty good for what it is, I think. But of course, there's a little bit of undulation there. So what I'm going to do is, well, let's do this. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to make this angle a little bit more complementary. See if that works. If it works, great. If not, then I'll just go back. So first of all, I'm just going to delete the construction history over here and just have a copy so that in case I need it, I can grab it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, you know what, let's do this. I'm just going to snap a curve over here. I'm just going to angle this a little bit over here like this. Actually, you know what, it might be better if I just angle it this way. Okay, so that does increase the patch size of this, but it also makes the angle a little bit more approachable. Hopefully that'll give me a better result. So I'm just going to play around with the angle a little bit, and then let's go to orthographic view. That should be better. And I'm just going to project over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a trim convert on this piece like this. It should be the same. And now I can just delete this one over here. And let's go ahead and do the square again. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 like this. And looks like the shape is already a lot better than before. So that's good. 2 and 4 is, it's got a collinear on it. And yeah, so there are a couple of things at play. So as you can see over here, the angle difference is a lot less than before. It was with square just by itself, it was about 0.99 something or 0.98. But right now it's automatically dropped to 0.3, which is a lot better. And as you can see over here, the CV structure is a lot better too, which is excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and align these ones over here and see. Yep, so that's, actually, you know what? If that's the case, I'm going to just leave it in vector normal. So obviously it's got a little bit of tangency failure, but it still dips down. Okay. But still better than before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can just do tangent over here. Just leave that as is. And I'm going to just try and just massage it a little bit. Obviously getting a curvature might be a little bit far-fetched, but at least I got curvature on two sides. And it looks like it's actually not that bad. Now if the highlight is okay, I'm just going to call it done and just move on. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay. Now this one curvature deviation probably is actually a curvature deviation, but I think I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so construction history, delete that one over there. Nice transition there. So I'm happy with that. So now the only thing I have to do is make sure that this one fits over here. This is going to be challenging. So, well, let's give it a go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, well, this is a freeform blend, which means that obviously the structure is a little bit off. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of transition from this one to this one. And that's going to be a little bit difficult too. But let's see what I can do. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to make a square over here. I might make this a little bit smaller. I'll have to see. So basically this is just a regular freeform blend with a shape control. Shape instead of form factor. And that's going to create a little bit of difference. So what I'm going to try and do is just try to blend the two with the square over here. Okay, so as you can see, it's doing this. So I might have to hand massage this a little bit. So if you see this over here, collinear is on 2 and 4. There's a little tangency failure. The biggest problem is this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I might have to change the angle on this one. Which means I probably have to redo this one too. But right now, there's quite a lot of angle difference. So let's do this. I'm going to see. I'm just going to hide these for a second. Just for a second. And I'm going to do a freeform blend between these two like this. Oh, okay. Obviously, sometimes that doesn't work. So I'm just going to say default over here. Oh, that actually looks terrible. I don't know why it's like this, but let's do this. Let's go ahead and make it like this. Oh, all right. Well, what I'm going to try and do is see if it's going to. Oh, okay. So it does create a break. You know what? Maybe I'll just have to go through this. Okay, so let's give it a go. So I'm just going to do a square. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, curvature. It's failing all over the place. Oh, actually, you know what? I have to go the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, it's failing over here, so I'm going to try and make this a little bit better than how it is. Obviously, this is the primary surface, so I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to try to align this one to over here. So let's give that a go. So first of all, I'm not even going to attempt to get curvature on this one because obviously this is an extremely difficult area with lots of surfaces just merging into each other. However, I am going to try and at least get tangency. So I was able to get tangency over here and the CV structure is okay. So let's see if I can at least get tangency over here. Let's see, position influence. Why does it say position failed, but it's not showing me anything? Okay, so if that's a case. Okay, so, oh, what do you know? I was able to get tangency in both. That's pretty good. Now, I cannot say the same thing. I don't know how the highlight flow is, but at least I got something here. Actually, you know what? I think the highlight's not too bad. I'm kind of surprised by that. So let me just grab these. And these over here. I'm just going to check the highlight. Make sure it's good. Now, these ones I'm going to do a little bit of transition over here. Actually, that's pretty good. Oh, what do you know? Okay, so I think I just probably have to do a little bit of CV cleanup here, and I think that's it. All right, that's it. However, let's do this. So I do want to clean the CV up a little bit over here. So what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I should make a copy of these. So I'm just going to say copy and paste. Delete the construction history. I'm just going to make a new layer and a hide over here. All right, and what I'm going to do is, well, actually there are a couple of things you can do. I'm just going to delete that and I'm just going to do a square again. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. But instead of having collinear here on side 2, I'm just going to turn that off. Oh, still, you know what? Okay, never mind. let's do it again. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Collinear, I will turn it on 2, so that's curvature there. Now it looks like tangents, getting tangency is not too bad. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to just line this up. So I'm just going to say curvature over here, and I'm going to say curvature over here. I'm just going to massage the CVs a little bit. So, auto scale G2, I think that actually needs to be turned off. And I'm going to have to grab a couple more surfaces over here. So I'm going to grab this one and just this one, just in case. Okay, so that looks, everything looks pretty good. I'm just going to push this one just a little bit down like that over here, and that's better. And what I'm going to do is I think this one, maybe just a little bit. I'm just going to push this one just a little bit like that over here so that the CV structure is good. Now, of course, that probably means that these are going to be broken, of course, so that I do need to fix this. But this one should be pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, it's not too bad over here. So just in case, I'm just going, not just in case, I'm just going to delete this one. And I'm going to just connect the two using freeform blend, and it should be okay. Now, of course, looks like it's needs a little bit of refinement over here. So let's just massage that a little bit over here. And of course, it looks like this one going down has a little bit of effect over here. So let me just push this down just a little bit. There we go. Make sure I don't have a zigzag all over the place. Do the same thing over here. I'll push that one a little bit. That one's not too bad. Of course, there's going to be areas where it looks a little bit funky, but I'm not going to be able to like set it perfect for all sides. So just going to do that. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can just push that back down. There we go. I think that might be a little bit better. Okay, so let's just do an adjustment here. So I'm not going to be able to get the zigzag out of everything, but at least it's a little bit better than before. And let me just a little bit push this one over here. Like that. And that's looking good. Now I do need to check to make sure that it's curvature over here. Oh, what? Oh, okay, so let me just make the edge align. There we go. And this is also going to be edge align. So obviously freeform blend being a tool to align two edges, these sides are going to be obviously curvature, but I was able to get curvature over here as well. Now, I don't know why this is failing. So curvature all sides. Okay, so let's actually try to get the continue to be correct. So I'm just going to delete the construction history over here. And let's try to actually match the continue. So that's curvature there. And for this side, I'm probably just going to do tangent, but well, let's see. Let's see how it does. Okay, so I would say vector because it's failing over here. Looks like that's failing. Okay, so, okay, so it's just going back and forth. That's okay, so let's try to get tangency over here. And I'm going to get tangency over here, partial. Position influence set to max. Why is it failing? I don't know why it says failing position, but let's take a look. Oh, that could be because it's all the way there. Surface continue. Okay, so I got tangency there. And hopefully I can get tangency here. And there it is. Okay, obviously curvature, okay, so it looks like vector will need to be turned off. The problem is I'll have to, let's do just G2 over here. I think that looks a little bit better. However, I'm going to try and, well, first of all, I do need to make sure that this is tangent over here. And I'm just going to push this CV around. Vector, looks like a vector is a little bit better. And I'm just going to push this down over here. Let's do a slide. Actually, you know what? I think this time I'm going to actually grab this side. Just make it somewhat looking good on all views. So let's snap it to 50. Mouse sensitivity, change that. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't look horrible. At least the CV structure seems okay. It's not perfect, to be honest. Not by any means. Okay, so I got tangency there. Curvature is of course failing. 1.0. To be honest, 1.0 is actually irrelevant because that's probably the max. So I'm pretty sure it actually has a curvature failure, but it looks like highlight is actually pretty decent for what it is. So I would say that's a pass, and just I'm going to move on. Right, so I'm just going to delete the construction history over here like this. And let's see how the whole thing looks. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice for what it is, especially for what it is. Okay, so looking pretty good. All right, so still a couple things to do. I do need to finish this up, and I probably need to just clean this up a little bit. So we'll continue that in the next one. It should be next one should probably be a short one, but yeah, not too bad. All right, so that is it for part 14, and we will pick this up in the next tutorial. And thank you guys for watching. Want to learn more? Then become a member at 3ddesignacademy.com, where you will find hundreds of video tutorials ranging from basics, including car creations, intermediate level tutorials such as this wheel, all the way to Class A modeling of the entire car exterior. Interested? Visit 3ddesignacademy.com.